What I'm sharing today is by popular request. I recently shared a story about an event that I was at and a workshop that I led on my Facebook page. And I said, would anyone want to hear me talk about this on our podcast? And a resounding yes came through. And so I am so excited to share with you today this formula that I'm calling your dream come true formula. These are the components and the pieces and how it is that they work together if you really want to see your dreams come true. So welcome to the Live Your Yes Life podcast, where we share channeled thoughts, discussions, and interviews on what it takes to go from dreaming and wishing to actively living your yes life. I'm Kaela Jetta. I am one of the co-founders of Rise Leadership Circle, where along with the best partner a girl could ask for, my mom, Lisa we work with our clients who are heart-centered leaders, entrepreneurs, money moguls, moms, and everything in between to really help have what they want. We take our clients and work with the big dreams that they have and the desires that they are going to experience along the way to their dreams and really bring them to life. And it is such an honor. Okay, so let me set the stage for you a little bit before we get into the specifics of this formula. Last weekend, I had the honor to attend an incredible personal development and leadership event in Utah, and I was hired to lead a breakout session for a team of entrepreneurs that were attending this event. It was a really incredible experience. So while I was attending the event at large, I heard from one of the speakers who is a leader within this company. And he was talking about how discipline is a really key ingredient to having our dreams come true. I was taking a lot of notes and I was really agreeing with what he was saying. And then there was a piece of me that thought, but I think that there's actually something more here. I feel like discipline is not the farthest down that it goes. There actually is something else. And I know that because of all of the anecdotal evidence that I have from doing the work that I do as a life coach with all of my clients. So while I'm sitting there at this event, I begin to start making this sketch. And in just a moment, I'm going to be able to share with you what my sketch ended up becoming so that you can follow along with a graphic that I made to help this make sense. So let me give you a high-level overview of what this is. Today, what I'm going to share with you is a formula that explains how it is you can have your dreams come true. So we could call it the dream come true formula. I also like to think of it as the depth between dream, discipline, and deserve. And you'll see why depth is a key word that we're going to use as we go today. Okay, so I'm going to put this up on your screen, this image of this formula. Feel free to take a screenshot if you want. Actually, I think we'll make this downloadable. So if you look in the show notes, you can click and be able to get your own downloadable image of this so that you can save it as the background of your computer or print it off and put it on your desktop. Or maybe you even want to put it as the background of your phone for a little bit to really help anchor in and remind you what this is about. I'm going to explain to you the components of what this formula is so that you can apply this in your own life to support you in having your dreams come true. And if you're listening on Spotify or Apple or somewhere where you can't see my screen, then definitely click in the show notes and grab the image so that you can experience for yourself and kind of follow along with what I'm talking about. And to just describe the image, in case that's helpful for anyone, it is a giant iceberg. And so there's kind of two parts. There's what's above the water, and then there's what's below the water. So we're going to start by just looking at what is above the water. So here's how we set this up. At water level, we're going to put discipline. Okay, so at water level, that's where discipline is. And then the top peak of the iceberg is dream. And between the water and the top peak of the iceberg is desires. For now, we're just going to look at that. I'll build out the last part of the model as we go. But for now, we know that water level is discipline. The top peak of the iceberg is dream, and what's in the middle are our desires. So let's start at the very top. We're going to start with the dream. I want to invite you to bring to mind one of your dreams. You might want to think about some different areas or categories of your life, like your well-being or money or a key relationship or your career or your spirituality. So think about one category of life and then bring to mind one dream that you have. Let's talk about what a dream really is. The definition that I like to use of a dream is it is something that will create transformation. So when this dream occurs, our life will change once and for all. There will be a before the dream and an after the dream, and it will never be the same because dreams are so big that it creates transformation. So we may have dreams like we dream of finding our forever partner and getting married. We might have dreams of having a family. We may have dreams of leaving our corporate job and becoming entrepreneurs. We might have a dream of running a 5K or running a marathon. We might have a dream of getting off of a certain medication and having our body be able to regulate it on its own with our doctor's support and guidance. There are so many different kinds of dreams. So a dream is something that really creates transformation, distinct from a desire, which is something that's more in the short term and might create change, but not transformation. So transformation is once and for all. Once this occurs, our life is never the same. Change can fluctuate. It can flex. And so we can have a change and then we can kind of go back. So I may have a dream of moving to a different country because once I move to a different country, my life is going to be altered. It is going to be transformed. And I might have a desire to vacation to that country. A vacation is a change. It's a short-term shakeup. My life is different for a little bit, but it can go back. It can keep changing. So I'm just using it as an example so we can see that dreams typically are going to take us longer out there further in the future. And we're going to have capital T transformation. Our life will never be the same. And a desire is a little close to home. A desire is something that will give us immediate joy or happiness, but it can be fleeting. So we can desire to be on a vacation. We're going to enjoy vacation when we're there. And once we get home, it's not going to stick. And we can dream of moving because our life will be different once and for all with a move. That's just one example so that you can see the difference between dreams and desires. So I want you to start thinking of a dream. What is a big dream that you have? Write it down for yourself. I'd love for you to come into our Facebook group. It's called Live Your Yes Life. Tell me what your dream is. Bring that to mind. Okay, so now we're working with the formula that's the top half of the iceberg. There's 3 components in the top. There's your dream, your desires, and discipline. I find that most of us fall into one of 2 camps. So see which one you are. Some of us have a lot of desires and we give ourselves these desires, yes, 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 but we find that we're missing the discipline that it takes to get to our dream. So and another analogy that I've been using to explain this concept is running a marathon. So if we thought about if our dream is to run a marathon, and our desires that would create a lot of change, supporting us to our dream might be things like buying new tennis shoes, signing up for a race, watching YouTube videos, making a fun playlist. Like we have these desires for new tennis shoes, for getting that endorphin hit saying that, yep, we're signed up, for making a fun playlist. We have these smaller desires that support that. And it's great when we give ourselves yes to our desires that support us to our dreams. But if we're missing the discipline component, which if we're going to run a marathon, the discipline component that we would need would actually be regularly training, running and cross-training and recovering our body. If we're missing the discipline, it is going to be hard to have our dream, right? It's great that we are giving ourselves the small desires that support the dream, but if we don't have the discipline, it's going to be hard to have a dream. So notice if you're someone that's like, I yes myself all day, but when it comes to discipline, there's something to be desired there. There's a little bit of a lack. On the other hand, you might be somebody who has a strong discipline and you're ignoring your desires. So if we use the same example of wanting to run a marathon, perhaps you have the discipline that every day you are training. You're either running or you're cross-training or you're recovering. You really have the discipline to go after your dreams. But the smaller desires that you would have along the way, you're not giving yourself because you're staying so focused on your discipline. Like maybe one day there's a desire to sleep in, and that would really support you in your body recovering. Or maybe there is a desire to eat something that just would bring you a lot of joy. And having that joy would make a difference for you. Maybe you're starting to beat up on yourself. Maybe your run time was a little slow. And so you just want to give yourself a little bit of grace and space, but you're being so disciplined that you're not giving yourself any of your desires. And that can be a challenge too, because desires, the role that the desires play on the road to our dreams is desires are teaching us how to flex our muscles so we know how to be a yes for our dreams. We get to be a yes for our desires so we know how to be a yes for our dreams. We cannot expect to never give ourselves any desires and then think that we're going to give ourselves our dream. It's likely that we won't, because the pattern that we have is that we will tell ourselves no. And so we can see already when we look at the top of this model, this formula between discipline, desires, and dreams is really that discipline plus desires equals dreams. When we can both be disciplined and give ourselves our desires, we are on the road to our dreams, okay? So just think about that for yourself. Which are you more prone to ignore? Do you tend to ignore your desires because you're so disciplined? Or do you tend to be such a yes for your desires that you're like, discipline, that doesn't really sound exciting or feel good to me? Check in with yourself. So I was envisioning how this was working when I was at this event listening to the speaker. I was seeing like, oh yeah, there is a really important role that discipline plays. I was seeing that there is a really important role that discipline plays. And it goes together. Discipline plus desires equals dream. So we can already start to see the depth between the dream and the discipline is that desires lives in the middle, and that's important. But now get ready, because now I'm really gonna blow your mind, okay? And this is what I taught in the breakout session that had everybody light bulbs clicking, just moments of, oh, I'm seeing something new here. But discipline is not at the base. Discipline is at the surface level of the water. And if we think about an iceberg goes way farther down than just what's at the surface. And so the bulk of the iceberg is actually deserve. Or I like to make up a word called deservability, which to me means my ability to really own my worthiness, my ability to say, not only do I not know how deserving that I am, but I act on that. So I want to ask you this. If you're somebody that finds that you get in the way of discipline, maybe you find that you tell yourself things like, I'm just not disciplined enough. Or you say like, what's wrong with me? Why can't I be disciplined? Why can't I follow through? Why can't I honor my commitments? Why do I sabotage? But rather than beating yourself up like that, a better question that would get you further would be to ask yourself, what is going on that has me not be disciplined? What is going on that has me not be disciplined? And what I have seen so many times, every single day with the incredible, successful, amazing clients that I work with, is that when we are not being disciplined to honor our desires and our dreams, what most often is going on is that we are not connected with our worth, how much it is that we deserve our dreams. So let me say it in a different way. If I don't believe, if there's a part of me, even a part, there might be a part of us that does believe, but if there's even a part of me that does not believe that I deserve my dreams, why would I be disciplined? Why would I show up and follow through and take the actions? Or why would I give myself the desires? If there's even a part of me that does not believe that I deserve my dreams. We sabotage because we are ignoring our deservability. I want to say that again because it's so important. We sabotage because we are ignoring our deservability. And so no matter how many yeses we give ourselves for our desires, and no matter how much we tell ourselves and commit to being disciplined, if we are not connected to our worth for our dreams, there's going to be a gap. And this deservability lives below the surface. We can't see it, but it takes up a lot of mass, and the depth for it goes low. This is what I'm talking about when there's parts of us. There might be a part of you kind of sort of close to the surface that's like, yeah, I think that I deserve that. And there might be a part of you down in the depths that's like, ooh, but I have this evidence or this history or no one like me, or I'm the first person in my family who, and there's some kind of story that is keeping you from fully owning how much you deserve to have your dreams. And so the invitation here to really, the formula for having your dreams come true is to start all the way at the bottom, to go the full depth, to go all the way down, to anchor into the way that you deserve your dreams to come true. And this is the place that I see a lot of people get stuck. And we especially get stuck when we logically know that we deserve it. And we can say, I know that I deserve it. I know that I do. And yet there is still a part of us that is in resistance or objection to us having that. When even there's a small part of us that says, but, and so that's what we have to go all the way down. And if we want to have our dreams, we have to fully own the fact that we deserve it. Not just know it, but embody it and act on it. And when we own the way that we deserve our dreams so much, we can't help but be disciplined. We can't help it. So think about whatever your dream is. Maybe your dream is to meet your partner and get married. Maybe your dream is to move to a new country. Maybe your dream is to write a book. Maybe your dream is to quit your day job and launch your business. When you are so deeply connected to the way that you deserve that dream to come true, you will not be able to help but be disciplined. And you will not be able to help but be a yes to the desires that will support that dream to come true. So the formula really is starting all the way down and saying, okay, first I'm going to own my deservability. I'm going to embody it. And then I'm going to both activate my discipline and my desires because I know that those two things together are what get me to my dream. I'd love to hear from you. What's opening up? What ahas are you having? Where are you seeing that you've been missing a piece in this formula for yourself? Lisa and I have started a brand new Facebook group. It's the same name as this podcast. It's called Live Your Yes Life. When you join us in the Live Your Yes Life Facebook group, you can listen to every podcast episode that we drop. And on Thursdays, every Thursday in the group, you can join us for a live Q&A on the topic of that podcast. So if you are listening to this podcast the week that this airs, you can join us in the Live Your Yes Facebook group this Thursday to tune in for a live Q&A where you can ask me whatever questions are coming up for you on this model, and I will answer them in real time. And if you're listening to this anytime in the future, just look at the date that this aired, and you can join the Facebook group and scroll back to find, or type in the search bar of the Facebook group so you can watch that live Q&A. Plus, as a bonus, when you join us in the Live Your Yes Life Facebook group, we will give you bonus access to a mini podcast series that we created. It's 4 episodes on how to get what you want. It really complements this, and you'll get that as your welcome gift for joining us. So make sure that you head over to Facebook, join us in the Live Your Yes Life Facebook group, tune in for the live Q&A, and get ready to really enjoy the bonus mini podcast series on how to get what you want. I can't wait to hear your comments and your feedback of what's opening up for you as you experience this model. I know that it is going to make a big difference for you. It's so helpful to have a visual and see how it really all works together and where you can pay attention for you. All right, friends, I'll talk to you soon.